World of Warcraft's patch 9.1 released, and it is so telling about the state of the game when your leading content creator is playing more of Final Fantasy XIV after a patch drop than World of Warcraft about the state of your game. Nope. Final Fantasy XIV did not kill World of Warcraft. What killed World of Warcraft was itself. World of Warcraft was squatted over by Blizzard and had a hell of 12 Taco Bell burritos and Baja Blast unleashed upon it. And to be frank, the smell from this is probably never going to be washed off of World of Warcraft after that. It's going to need some Jesus. Store mounts that are better than the terrible reskins in-game. My opinion. A focus on punitive systems that have people literally use algorithmic best-in-slot solvers to figure out, and an expectation that they are used in order to be in any competitive content, whether it be PvP, Mythic Plus, or Raid. Content that only offers you to Raid, PvP, M+, or die. I don't consider the World Quest system, especially when World Quests give you like 35 anima when I was playing, to be content. Then there's also apathy towards class balance and changes that generally, in my opinion, feel outright spiteful towards the player base. And I haven't even begun here. I haven't even begun. Yes, Final Fantasy XIV right now is very strong, and it is something that I love. But one option being strong doesn't mean that the other options at the buffet are weak. Do not blame WoW's failure on Final Fantasy XIV. 14 is strong for its own merits. It's like some days I can really go for some Boston pizza, other times I like Domino's or Panagos. 14 being strong isn't really making WoW weak. WoW is weak because of its extensive list of failures and, in my opinion, spiteful choices that have been made. And I'm really actually barely scratching the surface in this video. I cannot go into depth because each of these topics in depth is something that I'm sure that a veteran World of Warcraft player could easily talk about for probably 4 hours each if they were long enough playing. In fact, I'm genuinely concerned about World of Warcraft, and that's not me saying something tongue-in-cheek. I am genuinely concerned about it. I really don't think at this point that it can bounce back this time. I think that there has been a lot of leniency over the years, and I think time after time people have constantly been dumped on, that there has just been a level of disrespect that is astounding, a level of, oh, I know better than you, I'm a better person than you, I'm more intelligent than you, you're stupid, even though you literally have physicians, lawyers, nurses, scientists with PhDs playing, but apparently you're smarter than all of them. Okay, you're smarter than all of your players. God knows where that level of hubris even came from. But I genuinely take absolutely no joy in saying any of this, because one of the most important parts of any healthy community, and in this instance being the larger MMORPG scene, is a diversity and a range of options. Healthy, courteous, polite competition spurs others into action, which results in better content, new innovations, pushing that wall, pushing the limits, and much more that translates at the end of the day into fun content for more players to enjoy, which is a great thing for us. So when I say it won't bounce back, please believe me, that is not some kind of weird territorial dispute like, oh my god, Android versus iPhone, oh my god, PlayStation 2 versus Xbox. Like, it's not that at all. Kind of at this point started to feel almost concerned for the MMORPG genre as a whole. It wasn't that long ago that we had big creators in our sphere, well, in the greater gaming sphere, say MMORPG genre is dead. And I'm someone that does have my eyes out there for other games because I'm the type to play multiple at a time. 14 has in many ways stood the test of time because I do adventure and try out different games in parallel, such as Ashes of Creation with its creator Steven Sharif. You can honestly bet that my eyes are currently looking at that, but World of Warcraft, after seeing 9.1, I think I'm going to lose her number for good this time. But let's really get back to the topic of this video, which is Final Fantasy XIV being strong didn't kill World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft destroyed itself, which is a damn shame. This wasn't going to be my first point, but then I realized fundamentally this might be the ultimate answer, which in my opinion, just to be clear, is my opinion. Facts, this is not. This is an opinion. Opinions aren't facts. But in my opinion, I don't think that they respect the players at all. At all. I think that there is a fundamental level of, oh, we know better than you. And like a level of being lorded over, which just has caused this huge, incredible rift between what the developers are churning out for the game versus what the players want, and it feels adversarial. You have created an adversarial relationship with your players, and it is so insanely toxic. When I look at Final Fantasy XIV's FanFest and how we are treated by the developers, and then I look at World of Warcraft and the way that they are treated by the developers, it is such a stark difference. It literally makes me feel like, why would I ever play this game in World of Warcraft? I just don't know why. When I actively feel like I am hated by a developer, I don't want to play your game. I don't want to have anything to do with someone that hates me. Like, take the example of what this point was originally meant to be, which was like the fact that I feel that players' time isn't respected, which I don't feel we are respected at all, given a lot of the decisions made. And again, just opinion. But then you look at extremely time-wasting decisions like Stingia. The fact that you get 35 Craphia from World Quests is absolutely disgusting. Running Torghast twice a week, or the fact that every flight path needs to go back to Oribos and out. It's very clear from the Vulpera racials that you can place a teleporter at any location at any time. This is not a tech issue. Yet they still insist on this time-wasting system being woven throughout every aspect of the game. But it's just like, I just feel that the disrespect, the time-wasting disrespect, pales in comparison to the point that I genuinely feel that the developers almost have a level of contempt towards the player base, which has only been solidified in my mind. And why I'm even there is because someone recently dumped on a favorite content creator of mine on their public platform that has a check mark with their job title working in a fairly high position of power at Blizzard. No name and shame here, because that's not how we function, and there apparently has already been like so much drama over that. I'm not going to add fuel to the fire, but point is, I saw this, I read this, the creator covered this in detail, and it disturbed me. You want to tell me about what disturbs me? That disturbed me. It really did. And it disturbed me to the point, and it makes me wonder just how lowly, how pathetic, how much of a maggot they think that I am, or the rest of their player base is. If you are able to actively trash on someone who has become so wildly successful and has attracted and retained so many eyes to your game for so long, then what do you think of me? What do you think of my boyfriend? Like, we're talking about a straight content creator. What do you think about someone in the LGBTQ space? What do you think about minorities? What do you think of my friends? This is where my brain goes to when I see something like that. If you are so quickly able to admonish and spew vitriol and hatred at someone like that, then what the hell about someone like me? And I'm not sorry when I say that this made me feel and makes me feel so fucking uncomfortable that I don't want to log into that game anymore. I don't go places I don't feel welcome. I avoid them. And that's not abnormal. You'll ask anyone. That's normal. If you're not wanted somewhere, you just don't go there. And while people can argue, oh, blah, 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 it's one person, blah, 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 in my experience, and as someone who has read a lot of psychological literature, very rarely does someone speak out or lash out like that unless they feel backed by someone or multiple people, or there's some kind of social construct or social hierarchy that is being leveraged in which they feel that it comes from a place of like protection or power. And plus, we have actually seen this, and it has become a meme about things like Demonology Warlock, where apparently, allegedly, they nerfed it to the ground because they didn't want to see players use it. Or what about the 9.1 Legendary Fiasco, where apparently you need to grind out a new Legendary for some stupid new system that they layered onto an obnoxious other stupid systems. This was covered extensively by Bellular. This might have changed, I don't know. Honestly, to be frank, I didn't bother reinstalling the game for 9.1, and so I don't know, but I remember, like, Bellular and a whole lot of other channels were covering that 9.1 Legendary Fiasco. You need to like remake your legendaries, and I'm like, this is so disrespectful. This is so disrespectful towards my time. And there are so many other examples that I'll leave to WoW veterans to express where they felt their goals and desires were directly opposed. I know that there are many examples. I've talked to enough WoW quote-unquote refugees, just people moving from WoW to 14, to know that there are lots of examples of that. I know far less about WoW than other people, but honestly, I can say what I've experienced in a small chunk of time is extremely negative. Class balance is my next point, and this is one I've spoken about before, and it continues to make me extremely frustrated as a player. They're not balanced. One thing that I try in games is the unique classes that that game offers that I can't get elsewhere in my home game. Final Fantasy XIV, for instance, didn't offer a Beastmaster, and I wanted to desperately play a Beastmaster in WoW. You can actually see this because in yesterday's video I was talking about how I went to Ion to play a melee healer that played with healing over time effects, but also buffed the party, so hence I was playing a Chanter, which was something that I can't get in 14. It's a very rich experience. That's one thing that I definitely try and do with different games, is like enrich my experience, enrich what I know. I think that more so than my particular expertise in any particular game is my ability to like pick up things, learn them, be fluid with them, and just wanting to try different things. But when I tried Beastmaster in World of Warcraft, I didn't get that far until I realized that I was being mocked, ridiculed, unable to get groups for Mythic Plus, and was pretty much sitting on the stupid floating copper thing, the Ouroboros or whatever, applying for groups and getting rejected until I would eventually log off or get into a group 10 key levels lower than what I wanted, and so I wasn't even really obtaining my goals, which kind of sucked. But at least I could get into Mythic Plus. It's not at the level of difficulty I wanted, but yeah. So class balance is kind of in the toilet, and it's something that is so easy to do. People really do overcomplicate it, saying, oh, all these various tuning knobs, and honestly, you know what, I'm gonna be blunt with you. I don't care if people disagree because I have actually studied it. Combinatorics algorithms are a very, very, very well established thing, and it's just like, especially if you look at something like a class with 4 main buttons, 10% behind others, and then it's not that difficult to start tuning those 4 main buttons when you're like 10, 15, 20% behind others, and start turning the knobs and testing things out. I'm not going to buy this strange Kool-Aid that I'm being served where it's impossible to balance, let alone with disparities this far apart. It's just like, okay, if it was within like 5%, like I totally get that, but we're in a world today, actually years ago, this is actually now old news, but like we were combining Monte Carlo tree search with reinforcement learning to solve some of the most difficult convoluted games in the world, like Go. That's literally the name of the game, is Go. And the fact of the matter, even that is a more articulate and overcomplicated solution than practically you would need. Do weekly balance passes. Do simple tuning of knobs. Okay, if this does 13% of this particular stat, turn it up to 15. Oh, is that too much? Turn it to 14. Is that still too little? 14.5. That is literally changing a single number in a single line of code. Actually, being honest, it's probably in some kind of spreadsheet somewhere. Some kind of like easier way to do the tuning knobs than, oh, I need to literally go into the code base. You abstract these things when you write a system properly. The point is, it shouldn't be that hard to tune these knobs until it gets to an acceptable level. And currently, with the fact that we have some classes with such a wide disparity, that's not acceptable. That is such a huge difference. And we're talking about something with like Beastmaster, we have so few skills interacting. Why? This is not that hard. Which brings us to the next point, systems. Systemlands, Battle for Systems, and Systems of Draenor. There is this obsession with overly convoluted systems with supposed options. Again, that's an illusion of choice is what I call it, that gets rehashed every 2 years or so. And it's gone to the point where people have told and expressed to me about how they have created this like 2-year cycle of create a brand new set of systems, very elaborate, very intricate. Interesting on a very far level. Like, you need to zoom out the camera there. She looks better the farther out you take out the camera. If you zoom in too far on that system, oh boy, do the wrinkles show. But you have that 2-year create, balance, and that's like a 2-year of effort to balance, and then destroy. Because you're completely getting a new system every 2 years of these extremely time-consuming systems, and it's just like, at what point do you focus on the raw gameplay experience? And it's like, with this expansion now, we have 4 different covenants, each with multiple different covenant abilities, each with multiple different legendaries that impact them, the entire conduit systems that are all custom to it, and even within the covenants, there's 3 different people that can have all this, and it's like, why are resources and attention being divided constantly? But then it's just like, It's like people said way before Shadowlands even launched that this would be nearly impossible to balance, and lo and behold, we have had extremely entrenched metas and expected picks of Covenants ever since. And I have been bopped by that because I didn't want to go Night Fae. And you know what? You'd think, oh, you gay, you want to be Night Fae, haha, because gays all love fairies, and we have LGBTQ plus representation because we have 2 fucking ghost deer doing things. I don't care. It's boring. I wanted to go Venthyr, and I hated having to go Night Fae on my hunter. Again, where is the choice? It's not there. Now I'm going to talk about the cash shop, because this is something that has been brought up by so many different creators, and it's like, you know what, I look at what I see and I judge it for myself. And honestly, I am so over the stupid cash shop in World of Warcraft, as I know many others are. It's like Final Fantasy XIV does have a cash shop, but there is one huge difference. World of Warcraft doesn't provide as many, in my opinion, crazy unique models in the game as the cash shop really does. You're often seeing like reskins in the game, and it's just like again, I'm not trying to parrot another creator because I looked at it myself and I made my own judgment call, so this is my own opinion. But it is, in my opinion, pretty jarring when you look at a 6-month subscription mount, and not only is it better looking than other mounts, but it also doesn't have a ton of recolors of it, where the recolors devalue the actual mount that you're looking at. That makes it less cool. It's lame. It's just like, you know what, if we had like 20 different recolors of the Landwaffle mount through like different forms of content everywhere, and some of them were super easy to get, that would make me, after grinding all of the extreme trials for literally like days on end, like feel really stupid. I'd feel like, well, that devalued that. And it's just like the Landwaffle mount, though, talking about that, would probably be in the cash shop if 14 was WoW. Thank God it's not. But instead, it is earned in-game as a totally unique model that you can't get anywhere else from doing all the Shadowbreeze extreme trials and collecting all of their mounts. Could go on, and y'all know that I mean that. But I'll end it on this point. World of Warcraft is really raid, PvP, or M+. PvP is honestly an imbalanced mess where people seem to find it fun, engaging, and equal, even though there's nothing but complete disparity in it, coming from actual competitive games like League of Legends or even Overwatch. While those games do have balancing problems, absolutely, I acknowledge that. I do acknowledge that. But they are nowhere even close to the insanely unfair, one-sided dumpster fires of what I personally experienced in WoW PvP when I tried it in Shadowlands. Such as, what is a 200 item level player going to do against a 230 item level player? Nothing. They lose. Don't tell me that you can somehow like 4D, 5D chest this and beat them. I mean, they would have to be pretty bad to lose to 200 item level player as 230, or rogue fire mage as a duo. Yeah, good luck. So PvP is really a mess. And raiding, now moving on to raiding. Raiding is a very specific activity that we've kind of aggrandized raiding to be this larger than life thing where everything about it is glamorized to the point of no return. But in World of Warcraft, it needs 20 people, and if one person messes it up, then it is GG, no re, the entire team wipes. It's just like, I'm thinking about like teapots for that one boss, like where you have like these like flying like potion things, and like if one person doesn't stand in the circle, the entire party takes such insane damage. It's like, can't keep up with that. And it's harder to farm in a group where there's 19 other people, those deep, meaningful friendship bonds. And to be blunt, trying raiding in both 14 and WoW, I hate WoW raiding, yet raiding is something that I do love in 14. And now I want to talk about Mythic Plus, where Mythic Plus is really a shining star in WoW content that I can't get anywhere else, that I have nothing but praise about. I want to see Mythic Plus in 14 so badly that it's kind of painful, but at the end of the day, if I ever went back to WoW in its current state, it would be almost exclusively for Mythic Plus. Dungeon grinds, for whatever reason, has been something that I've really enjoyed for a long time. I remember Aetheril Chemical Research Facility back in Heaven's Ward Relic grind, Arf Until You Barf, that was something that I really loved, and I desperately wish that Final Fantasy XIV would get a Mythic Plus system. Now, am I gonna level up, gear out, maintain, and all the rest for a character just to do dungeon crawls in WoW? Did you forget my first point? Beastmaster in a Mythic Plus group? Dude, who am I kidding? It's more like gear up, level up, out, maintain, and whatever the Beastmaster so that I can sit in Oribos all day spamming group requests that get declined because I'm a Beastmaster. Really circles back to the point of this video. Final Fantasy XIV did not destroy WoW, not in any capacity. Final Fantasy XIV is strong in its own merits and for its own content. World of Warcraft obliterated itself with an orbital canon itself. And no one else is to blame other than World of Warcraft itself. And as I said in the disclaimer at the start of this video, I want a strong World of Warcraft, but unless things are course corrected, and course corrected fast, there's absolutely never... I don't see a way where it could possibly recover at this point. Even if it still smells like post-12 taco burritos and Baja Blast after this whole BFA Shadowlands fiasco,